You do have to win every battle. Some battles are of equals. Every battle must be lost and won, even amongst equals. And the point shared could be gain or loss. Who wins the battle between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko on matchday 9 of the Ghana Premier League? Hearts versus Kotoko, the battle lines have been drawn. The Ghana Premier League, it's more than 3 points.
Give them the other. Give them the other. Yay!
just the tip of the iceberg, and this is what will be treated to at the Accra Sports Stadium, because this Sunday it is the big one. And thanks to the Generals for ensuring that this atmosphere is supercharged before our discussion here on the GPL build-up show. You've not seen the last of them. They'll be here with us throughout the show, and they will be bringing us some good tunes. I wish you could see how my guests were dancing in the studio to that Kotoko song and the Heart of Folk song. And I'm giving you a clue because there are two legends from these two clubs here with me. It is the GPL build-up show, and we are looking up to match day 9 of the Ghana Premier League. My name is Mutala Yakubu, resident analyst and GPL statistician. Mohammed Shaban is here with us, and today he will be feeding us with a lot of numbers. But for our legends, two of the greatest that this country has ever seen. One won about 5 Ghana Premier League with Heart of Folk. He was the one that lifted that famous Confederation Cup for the Phobians at the Barbara Sports Stadium at the expense of the other guest who I knew was weeping when he saw Amankwa Mreku with that huge trophy. Amankwa is here with us, and he will be talking a lot about Heart of Folk. The other is a very respected figure in Ghanaian football. He was captain of the Black Meteors when we played at the Olympic Games in Athens in 2004. When I was a young boy and got to Kumasi, his biggest nickname was Nyansa Nansa because he was a brilliant midfielder for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And he continues to play a huge part in our football. These days, he works with the PFAG, and he's doing a lot for Ghana football. Yusuf Chipsa is also here with us. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. I know you are fired up already because you were dancing to the General's tunes, and we'll get to that big one, Heart of Folk Asante Kotoko. But before that, let's go through all the fixtures for match day 9. Some interesting games coming up, but we know that standout fixture would be that one between Heart of Folk and Asante Kotoko. But there's Nations coming up against Ho United. That game is on Friday at 3:30 p.m. It will be live on TV3 and on Nya TV. Then on Saturday, huge game at the Nana Ajimabedu Park because league leaders Adriana will be coming up against second place team Mediema. That game is also at 3:30 p.m. There's Vision against 11 Wonders also coming up. But then we have Young Apostles taking on Bechim United FC. Samatex will come up against Wedro All Blacks and Baseke Holy Stars, who are still in search of their first win in this year's Ghana Premier League, will be taking on current champions BBN Gold Stars, with Heart of Lions, who are high-flying, also taking on Brekum Chelsea at the Kpando Sports Stadium. Then at the Accra Sports Stadium, it is the big one, a titanic clash between Heart of Folk and Asante Kotoko. We'll set the ball rolling, but this season, Heart of Folk have been able to chip in some 8 goals, with Asante Kotoko also scoring 7, and we've had some incredible goals being scored by both sides. Let's take a look at what they've done so far.
To take the corner for Heart of Folk. And Paku swings one in, a Forenchi nearly conceding, and that's the opening goal. Hamza Issa has put the Phobians ahead at the Golden City Park in Brekum. For the Phobians this time, look at where he was standing, lurking and watching in between 3 Chelsea defenders.
And the chance for that Amwa, can he get the opening goal? And Amwa has put something in the lead. And to trap it, Mahumeko, again, Brekum Chelsea, who could have control?
Corner taken, Mensah's header, and Heart of Folk have the second goal. Mauliwayo doubles the Phobians' lead. The header from Ransford Mensah was not dealt with well. He tried to save the situation, Mensah, but it gladly fell to Wayo, who made no mistake on his left foot. He makes it 2-0 for Heart of Folk. He scored the only goal last season here, and he scored again. Chelsea 0, has 2.
They trying to take the freeze out of our midfielder Town. Nearly have to go in for this one. Saka Dauda sets one in. Kotoko may have a chance, and they have it! What a strike! Absolutely thunderbolt! And Kumasi Asante Kotoko have opened the scoring here. What a time to score this one! Wow!
Afani unable to make contact. And Goldmark Malik can they get the opening goal. And Enoch Estebantin has put the Phobians ahead.
Of course, but then you got another goal from Paku, headed out. There was not a scramble over there, not being dealt with really. And then that mistake over there, forced by Simontin, controls with his chest, and then blast that one from close range. And 11 Wonders just didn't deal with the this one rightly. Just look at that. Owusu trying to clear that one.
Oh, lovely piece of work there. Martin goes in, drags the ball back, and Kodoko can get a third, yeah! And they have Peter Amidu Aqua has made it 4 for Kumasi Asante Kodoko, but again, it was a hard work.
Mensah swings in across. Kobe has missed and has the ball at the equalizer. The Fabians are back in business, and it's George Paku who brings out the book. Level peg in here.
Look at that delivery. Sweet there. And Cody missed it and Paku.
Amidu Aqua here, Peter Amidu Aqua. And now Kumasi Asante Kodoko still keeping possession. Amidu Aqua trying to go with a curler. He finds support. The header comes out! Oh, that's a great goal! Yeah, Peter Amidu Aqua, look at that! For a goal. Quality header there. In 2023, season Kumasi Asante Kodoko match day 8 game against Saint-Germain. In that game, and Kodoko now would have to see the guy strike. Oh! What a goal! This is marvelous! Ah! Did you see that? Did you see that? Lord Abua dragging the ball back here. And then when the opportunity, it is Hubert Cheu again.
Jamina. Wayo goes past his marker. Mauli Wayo tries to cut back, and it's an own goal.
Some incredible goals that are being scored by both Hartlepool and Asante Kotoko. That second strike from Hube Jewu against Karela United picked that one out. And we are going to have a lot more. I hope that Sunday will bring us some excitement at the Accra Sports Stadium. As I said, I have two legends here. Aman Kwameku from Hartlepool and Yusuf Chipsa from Asante Kotoko. Yusuf, I've always wanted to ask you this. When you saw Aman Kwameku leave the Confederation Cup, what was going through your mind?
Well, I did not.
Can I answer for him?
Yeah, you can answer. You can.
Can I answer for him?
Yeah, you can.
To be very honest with you, I did not see him lifting the cup.
Okay, you
I
didn't.
was so down at that moment. So,
Of course.
well, for the first time, let me congratulate him officially.
Officially,
Yes.
the first time
For the
it's
first
been
time.
done on air.
Yeah.
You've never done that for how many years now?
No. I hate,
Okay.
I hate talking about that moment.
It's a big one. It's on our hands again. Hard to focus Asante Kotoko. It doesn't get any bigger than this. We'll come to the game proper. But Amankwa, you've played in some of the fiercest Hard to focus Asante Kotoko games. Which one would you say is the most memorable that you were involved in? Don't tell me the 4-0.
Oh, you see, you have mentioned it, and I can't leave that out.
Yeah.
You see, the most important is about having memories that can blow your mind.
Okay.
It's not about only memories, but then the memories that can blow your mind. And as my colleague just said, it's something that it's very important when you have those memories in terms of winning 4-0. And you see, the most important thing about that match is that even though we were then winning in that margin, they were still begging us. They were still pleading with us. Amankwa, please, you guys should just have pardon on us.
So you mean you would have won by a bigger margin?
We would have won by 8.
But do you remember
7,
the
8.
goal scorers in that game?
Yes.
Who are?
Can I stop?
I'll come to you, but who are the goal scorers? Who are the goal scorers on that day?
I wasn't
Can
on
I
the
stop?
field. I wasn't part of that game.
You said Kenneth Sapon.
Yeah,
Kenneth
Oseko
Sapon or
exactly.
Seiko for the general who later played for us.
Exactly. And then Chastela and then Ishmaelado.
Okay, so those were the goal scorers. But Chipsa, I mean, I've watched you countless times at the Barbera Sports Stadium during your days for Asante Kotoko. You played in some of these games. I saw one that Dombote had to break hearts. Which is your most memorable Asante Kotoko has game?
I think the one that we beat them 3-1 in Kumasi is the memorable one for me.
Why is it so special?
Because in fact that was my first year with Kotoko, and we had wanted to equalize that 4-0. We went up by 3, and then unfortunately for us, unfortunately for them, they had the 4th goal of the game. So we ended up 3-1.
Do you even recollect the players who scored the goals for Kotoko?
Yeah.
Who were those?
Taylor scored. No, Ahindia scored.
Not Ahindia.
Yes. Isaac, yeah.
Isaac Boache.
Isaac Boache.
Okay.
And then Emba.
Emba.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael was saying Emba Power. Yeah, famously with that road up.
Would you care the one
who equalized for? Who got the consolation for us? Who was that?
Myself.
Yourself?
Exactly.
Well,
you know that game I played only 12 minutes.
And you scored a goal.
Exactly.
But it was state for tat. You beat them 4-0, they beat you 3-1. But
let's
come to Heart of Oak Asante Kotoko. Big one. I mean, usually I've had a lot of Asante Kotoko Heart of Oak games where players will tell you, the pressure is different. What makes Heart of Oak Asante Kotoko game different from the other 17 clubs that you play?
Yeah, I think, you see, if I listen to some of the current players who, when it comes to this crucial match, and then they are interviewed, and then they said there isn't any pressure, there isn't any tension on them. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? This is a kind of a platform that comes back once, and it's kind of a mixed feeling. And so for a player to say that there's no tension, there's no pressure in this kind of platform, and then I don't understand where you're coming from, because you see, when it comes to Hearts Kotoko match, even the course from the supporters tells you this this game is different altogether. That's what I'm saying. You cannot treat it as a normal game. You cannot treat it as one of those games. Yeah. It's a unique that you need to treat it as such. And so for me, you need to give that tension to yourself. You need to give that pressure to yourself, not necessarily having effect on you, but then rather to use it to perform on that day. Yeah. And so for me, Kotoko has much. It's a kind of a mixed feeling. You kind of having the pressure, you kind of having the tension, at the same time you having that privilege to stand on that platform. And so for me, it's one of the most memorable games that you can find in Ghana.
Of course, and I have been at the stadium myself where, as a fan, just to come and watch the game, I felt the tension within the stands. How do you manage pressure when it comes to Heart of Oak Asante Kotoko game, Chipsa?
Well, a lot goes into that. I think one of them should be your level of experience from the league. I mean, I joined Kotoko after I've been with King Faisal for 3 seasons. So at that particular time, you could see I'm matured enough to be able to handle certain pressures. Luckily for me, I was playing for a Kumasi-based club. So that also gave me some sort of advantage. So to be able to handle that kind of pressure, as Amankwa just said, I mean, I will not agree to anybody who says, or any player who says there isn't tension or there isn't pressure in that game. Because if you play well, if you excel, your name is going to be at the lips of about 20 to 30,000 people. And if you fail, it's the same way. So obviously, there is the positive and the negative pressure that is going to be on you. So every player should be able to understand that Hearts Kotoko games are not like the ordinary games. You have to give it a special attention and then attack it and make sure that you are able to perform.
Now, Amankwa, currently, Kotoko Hearts are the only unbeaten teams in the Ghana Premier League. This game is going to be played at the Accra Sports Stadium, a venue where Asante Kotoko usually gets the result. Hearts of Oak have just won 1 game this season at the Accra Sports Stadium. Do you think it's a psychological problem with the current squad, not being able to get the results at home? Because you should be comfortable at home.
Yeah, I think from 2017, Hearts of Oak has been at a position very difficult position to win at home. So for me, at the same time, since 2020, Kotoko has not been able to defeat Hearts of Oak in the league. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to Accra Sports Stadium. And so for me, that tells you this match, the worst of it should be draw when it comes to Kotoko. But then to win, yes, that should come from Hearts of Oak. Looking at the memories that I just said. And so for me, I think Hearts of Oak, for now, we're having the #1 goalkeeper, as we all know. You know what I'm saying?
Who's that? Benjamin
Asari,
Asari?
exactly.
Okay.
The whole Ghana, number one,
Well,
is in the post of House of Hope, as usual. And so for me, that alone, it's a motivation.
well, you are having the number one. Asante Kotoko says they are having the best midfielder currently in the Ghana Premier League, Hubert Jewu. But Chipsa, looking at this Heart of Oak team, do you see any vulnerability within the team? Because, I mean, it's very hard to penetrate, especially their back line. And Benjamin clean sheet Asari, that is what the Heart of Oak fans call him these days.
I must accept the fact that they have a solid team. I mean, forget about the results. I had the opportunity to watch them in the top four, and after the top four, I did say that both us and Kotoko have a group of players that needs to be kept together for a while, and then both clubs will be performing well. So, I mean, it's absolutely the truth that they have a good team. And this team cannot be undermined or underrated. And equally, I think the technical handlers of Kotoko and the players are having the same mindset that you cannot underrate and undermine House of Oak. If you look at their scoreline, that could also give you an idea that it's not an easy team to beat.
Now, you were a brilliant midfielder yourself. What do you make of Hubert Jewu?
Fantastic player. And the 2 goals he scored from the previous game, I mean, I like players or midfielders who like to surprise goalkeepers with long-distance shots. I mean, it gives you the name easily. I mean, those are occasions that made me famous a little bit in the league, because as a midfielder, you need to work extra hard. And if you're able to add goal scoring to your abilities, then that takes you out there. He's absolutely one of the best players that we have in the country.
Of course. And Amankwa, let me come back to you. Hardly do you see Heart of Oak Kotoko coming back of victories going into a clash like this, but both teams have been able to maintain their momentum. Looking at the Heart of Oak team, which department actually needs the bigger work? Looking at the attack, the midfield, and the defense.
Yeah, I think it's the machinery, the attacking machinery. I think we need 1 or 2 to beef up the attacking machinery. When it comes to the defense, yes, like I said, we have Ghana's number 1 goalkeeper, and for me, that alone is a motivation when it comes to the defense. Because looking at when I look at my back, and then I see Samir J, at least it tells me that there's a kind of exactly. So a safe.
So you think that is how the current crop of Heart of Oak players see Benjamin Asari, like exactly. A Samir J figure, who you know you are sure of keeping the post.
Exactly. Apart from that, you see, when it comes to maybe Abetamwa, who has been sold, I don't know how come, but then I don't know whether it's part of the game plan. But then what I can say is that Abetamwa seeing Asari in the post also put a kind of fear, you know what I'm saying? Because he cannot, I mean, just stand anywhere and then give a trial, you know what I'm saying? Because he knows the pedigree of the goalkeeper in there. Okay. And so for me, that alone is also kind of a motivation to the team, you know what I'm saying? But then looking at from the midfield to the attack, I think that has been House of Oak's problem. The linkage, the transition, the transition at which they have to score.
Because I see players like Hussein, Abdul Karim, all trying, Rafael Amposa trying to do
now Abdul Karim is injured.
Yeah, Abdul Karim is injured. I'm hearing he might be back for this game.
Fine, but it's a big blow to House of Oak, because that guy, I like that chap. And seriously, how he handles the midfield, his demeanor, his how he, you know, the confidence that he has. And so when he was injured, seriously, I thought House of Oak had a big blow. Yeah. But then all the same, you know, the game has to go on. Well, so for me, I think Kari and others are still holding the fort.
We'll go shortly to the touch screen with Shaban there. But Chipsa, before we do that, Albert Samoa, he mentioned him. He was like the proper machine up front for Asante Kotoko. He's been sold. Mofin Donzo is now the main number 9 because Kwame Poku is not available. Would that really play a part or impact the game on Sunday? Heart of Oak knowing that there's no Albert Samoa.
No, not really. Not really, because if you look at the Kotoko team, the last game they scored 4 goals without Albert. So the good thing is you get midfielders and wingers also able to score. So if you have a team that scores from different players, not only rely on the striker, that gives you an advantage. So I don't think the absence of Albert is going to have any meaningful effect on the team, so far as we have players scoring from different angles.
Okay.
Set Seth
Seth
scored,
Kojo also
Seth
scored,
Kojo
yeah.
scored, Peter Midu scored, Jehu scored. Jehu is comfortable even from the flanks and even in central midfield. So this shouldn't be a problem at all.
Well, we'll talk about the experience of both coaches and the key battles, but let's go to Shaban, who is on the screen. Shaban, what does the numbers say as far as Hasofok Asante Kotoko games are concerned at the Accra Sports Stadium?
Well, I'm enjoying the conversations of the legends, but Sunday will decide. But we have the facts here to talk about ahead of the big game. I'm sure after these conversations, the two legends will now be thinking about where the results will be going on Sunday. But then I have these two teams here. This is the last Super Clash played in the Premier League, and the game ended 0-0 at the Accra Sports Stadium. This was the team paraded by Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Heart of Folk. This was Abubakar Watare's last Super Clash as Heart of Folk head coach. But for Abdul Karim Zito, he took charge of this match. And so we'll look at his statistics going forward in the analysis. But then we want to see who has kept his squad ahead of this Super Clash. Let's start with the home team, Heart of Folk. Benjamin Asari is still available. Ransford Mensah, it would also be playing. And then Asma is also in the Heart of Folk squad. Kunedi Adam is a player who has left the team after the season. We have Hamza Issa, the striker, Kevin Osesibe, Martin Kakari, and then Rafael Amponsa. We have Yimanola Mankwa is injured, and so he will be missing the big game, but he's still part of the House of Folk team. Stephen Api Asari and Hussein Mohamed, legend, talk about him. And so for the Heart of Folk squad, it's only one player who is not part of the team moving on to the next Super Clash, and that is Kunedi Adam. Just look at Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Justice Blay is out of the team, and so he won't be playing the Super Clash. We have Mohamed Kamara, the shot stopper. He's still with the team. And then Samba O'Neill, the captain of the side. Henry Ansu is also available. And then maybe to start the game, Kwame Poku is injured, but part of the squad. And then Andrews Intimenu, part of the squad, but he is injured. And then Baba Yaya has returned from injury. In the last game, he played for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And then Fernando Wisdombasi, he is from Nigeria. In his first season, he has to leave the club, and so he's not available as well. Patrick Esiedu would be in. Che Dramina is not part of the team, and the last player to leave Kumasi Asante Kotoko is Abetama. So if you look at the entire team, Kotoko have 4 players who are not part of the team again, and Heart of Folk have 1 player who is out of the team. And so consistency is going to be playing a role in this Super Clash. But then let me give you this history quick one before we look at the other statistics. They have played 118 matches in the Super Clash between Heart of Folk and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. 40 wins for Kotoko, 38 wins for Heart of Folk, 40 draws, moving on to the 119th Super Clash that will be played on Sunday. And so take note of this information. And so, but let's move on with other data that is very key going into the Super Clash, and that is going to make it more interesting. Now, let me talk to you about these two coaches. And they have interesting statistics going into the Super Clash. For Heart of Folk head coach, that's Masud Didi Dramani.
And you should remind our viewers that Masud Didi Dramani is a former coach of Asante Kotoko. He actually won the league twice with Kotoko, but this time he's working in Accra.
All right, so let me tell you the story like you mentioned. When he was the head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Coach Abdul Karim Zito was the head coach of the youth team. And so at a point, they were working together when he won 2 trophies with Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But at Heart of Folk, he is unbeaten in the Premier League. Interestingly, 8 matches, 4 wins, 4 draws. And for Abdul Karim Zito Kabute, he's played 11 matches in the Premier League for Kumasi Asante Kotoko since joining them last season, but has lost just a single game. He's won 6 of the matches, he's drawn 4 of the games, and has lost 1 to Vision FC in the game that ended 3-1 against Kumasi Asante Kotoko at the Nia J. Kweku II. And so an impressive record for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And so in 11 matches, 1 defeat, 6 wins. That's a positive one. But let's talk about these two coaches. This is the very first time they are meeting in the Premier League Super Clash. But before then, they've met in 2 games. And one of it was the President's Cup, when Heart of Folk scored the first goal through Hamza Issa. And then Kotoko came back. And that is when we saw Peter Amidu Akwa and Kwame Poku winning the game for Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the 2-1 victory in the President's Cup. Now, they met again in the GACA Top 4, and that is when Coach Masudi Dramani redeemed his image in a 2-0 victory against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And we saw Emmanuel Amankwa who is injured, for her to score for them. And one striker, Frank Eburaduku, Paku George actually set up Frank Eburaduku to get the goal for her to focus. So they won by 2-0. So in 2 matches played, 1 victory for Didi Dramani, 1 victory for Abdul Karim Zito go into the fixture. But there's this interesting numbers on Abdul Karim Zito. From Dreams FC to Kotoko, in about 3 consecutive seasons, their results, 5 of it have ended in a draw, and then he's won 1. And so in 2023-24, first leg as Dreams FC head coach 0-0, second leg 2-2. 2024-25, first leg 0-0, the second leg he won. And so in about 3 consecutive seasons, it's either the results end 0-0 or 2-2. But one of it, as Dreams FC head coach last season, he won 1-0 before joining Kumasa Santi Kotoko. And at Kumasa Santi Kotoko, one of the results he's played against Atofuk ended 0-0 going into the fixture. But the last one I'll talk about before we sign off from here would be one key data that has always had an impact. And you asked the legend, and then he gave you what he feels about it. But this is it. This is their last 12 matches, and this from 2010-2011.
At home?
At home.
Heart of Folk. Okay.
Yes, and interestingly, Heart of Folk have won only 3. Kotoko have won 5 of Heart of Folk's home games against Kumasa Santi Kotoko. And that is something to tell you that Kotoko...
Does this include the games where Heart of Folk adopted the Barbera Sports Stadium as their home venue?
And that is the game where Heart of Folk lost by 3-2, because usually Heart of Folk results against Kotoko is expected to end 1-0, 2-0, or 1-1, 0-0. But then when Heart of Folk adopted Barbera Sports Stadium, the results tend to be 3-2. And there's one fact that we would look at where you will see Heart of Folk Kotoko, first leg ending in a draw, second leg ending in a win, first leg ending in a win, second leg ending in a draw. But there's this coach who has turned everything around, and that is Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum. Whenever he's in charge of Kotoko, it's a win for Kotoko or a draw for Kotoko since 2020-21. But when he's not in charge, the results turns out to be negative or a draw for Kumasa Santoko. So this is it. Heart of Folk 2017, Heart of Folk 2020-21, when Barnier scored the only goal for Heart of Folk. This was Patrick Razak, and 2022-23, this was Kunedu Yadom, who had the goal for Heart of Folk. In 2010-2011, Kotoko won 2-0, 2013-2014, 1-0, 2015, 1-2, where Kotoko won by 2-1 and 1-0. Now, Mutala, this is to tell you that whenever Heart of Folk will beat Kotoko at home, the result is 1-0.
Okay.
Whenever Heart will beat Kotoko at home, the result is 1-0. And so if on Sunday Heart of Folk will win, the results will be 1-0. But if Kotoko will win the fixture, it is either 2-1, 1-0, or 2-0.
Well, whenever you give the scoreline, I look at Chip's expression, and you can see that he's happy whenever you mention Asante Kotoko. It's a big one on Sunday, and ahead of this clash, Asante Kotoko coach Karim Zito, he says that if you call him Karim Zito and you don't add the Kabute, he's going to get angry. So Karim Zito, Kabute, and defender Samba Onel, who missed their last game against Karela, have spoken and are optimistic of getting all the 3 points.
Folk and Kotoko. Everybody knows how the game is. It is one of the best and one of the most difficult game of between the two. So everybody wants to win, just as we are going there with the mindset of winning. So it's like you plan against the best side of your opponent and then capitalize on the weaker side. So this is what we are doing in short to meet Asafok. To me, the top 4. It wasn't, the timing was very bad for Kotoko, and I'm vindicated now. People have, just as I said, the timing of the top 4 was not conducive for Kotoko, because we started our preseason late due to the subsequent matches ahead of going to South Africa. So you could even see that we couldn't even rest after the league, which is very, very bad. But at the end of the day, it's a competition we have to honor. So we use it in another 10. So we couldn't do well in terms of results. But I wasn't disappointed, because I said it, that I wasn't expecting my team to play well during that competition. But at the end of the day, I'm now vindicated. People have seen exactly what I said. But that is the technical side of it. But when you come to the supporters, they don't care. You are in this, you are in that. So automatically we are going there with a mindset of beating him.
In our mind, we are going to start the same way we start the league. We just put in our mind 3 points. So we are going to work out for a win. Asofok is a tough side. We know that the game is going to be very, very difficult, but in our mind it's 3 points. We are determined to keep our clean sheet. And even last game when we conceded 2 goals, we played very well, but it was very sad because we didn't do like our job to keep the pool. Yeah. So next time we'll do it very well.
I think that Kotoko is a prevailing side, and Kotoko you can believe that has been very tough opponent, all year, and then they have the experience and they have the pedigree of depth in squad, and you need to acknowledge that, and every team can concede, every team can concede. And every team has its strengths and they have their weaknesses. Definitely, we will work against our strengths, and then we will work against the weakness of the opponent, and then we will try to respect the strength of the opponent, and then try to try as much as possible to control, when the opponent is strong in an aspect.
This game means an importance to the family and to the team. And also, just like a normal game, just like we playing against the other team in the league. So it's a normal game. It's a normal game that we are going to play. There's no pressure on the players because we only do our best. We don't let the pressure make us panic or whatever. So it's a normal game that we are going to play on Sunday. Playing against Kotoko, Kotoko is one of the biggest clubs in the country. So House of Folk playing against Kotoko, it's not going to be an easy game. But although we have prepared very well at the training grounds.
So from there, Kotoko can be heard from Karim Zito and Samba Onel. Then Heart of Folk, also Masudi Dramani and defender Kelvin Osasibe. Now let's talk about the coaches. These are 2 very experienced managers. I'm starting with you, Amankwa. So far, Didi Dramani, how do you see what he's done with this Heart of Folk setup? And do you think his experience of winning the Ghana Premier League can come to bear in this one?
Yeah, it's possible. For me, I see these 2 coaches as father and son. That's what I'm saying. Father in the sense that Didi is the father, and then Zito is the son. Looking at where they came from. When he was the head coach of Kotoko, he won the league twice. Whilst at that time, Zito was at the second Team B. Okay. So it tells you it's the same thing. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm coming from. And so for me, I think Didi is more experienced. Okay. He's a teacher when it comes to the technical side. He's a teacher. He's a FIFA instructor, and he has a lot to offer. And so for me, going to this match, there is a decider, kind of a decider, because Zito has won 1, Didi has won 1, and for me, the margin is also very important. The consistency is also very important. And as Shaban said, consistency in football is very, very crucial. And so for me, looking at where the crop of players that Hearts of Folk is going to assemble, and then that of Kotoko, you can see that Hearts of Folk team is consistent. And so for me, that alone is also an advantage.
Chipsa, it was a disaster in the CAF Confederation Cup without beating Kotoko. But so far, they've responded heavily with that win against Karela. I mean, Karim Zito has talked about the fact that he needed time to really build a team. Now you can see that consistency. Have you been impressed so far? And you think with what he's gathered, and you heard from him that the top 4 defeat to Heart of Folk, his team wasn't well prepared because he complained about not having enough time for pre-season. Has he had enough time? And do you think with all that he's done so far, this is the time he gets a win against the fiercest rivals?
Yes, I think talking about having enough time, from the time he took over till now, I think he should be able to get whatever he wants to put together around the team in place. I do agree with him. The top 4 wasn't ready for the top 4. He said it himself. And those of us who watched the game from the technical point of view, supporters were focusing on results, but we were watching the game from other point of view. And you could see that the players were good. It was just other external factors that made them not to perform. So personally, I never lost hope in this team. And I think they've been able to team up. He's built the team to a certain level that they are able to beat any team at all.
Of course.
Not ruling out Asofok. They also have a very good team. Didi is doing a good job with the team so far. Both coaches have a lot of experience. They know each other. They've been unbeaten so far in the league. And so it's going to be a tough game.
Of course, and before we go back to Shaban, Chipsa came with a lot of souvenirs for Asante Kotoko fans. I know there are a lot of them in Accra. So what, we're finding it difficult to share this, but what we are going to do is very simple. You just have to go on our page at TV3 Ghana or go on any of our socials on the Ghana Premier League page. On IG is Ghana Premier League _ On X, it is Ghana League. TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube, it is Ghana Premier League. Those are the pages we use. But Facebook is the most important. Just go there. We're going to do a very simple exercise of you predicting the scoreline of this game. Predict the scoreline of this game. My producers will work on that and we'll put it there. Predict the scoreline of the game. And if you're able to get it right, you get one of these souvenirs from Yusuf Chipsa. It's signed by the legend, proper one, with the Kotoko crest here. So
that can I chip in something? Why not put few questionnaires out there? Because
of course
we want them to wear it to the stadium.
No, we are not sharing all here. Some will take it to the stadium before
we want
the
to
show
paint Accra Suffolk, Accra Sports Stadium red.
Before the show ends, we are going to take we are going to ask a few questions about Heart of Folk and Asante Kotoko. Whoever gets it right, you just have to come to the front desk of TV3 and just give us, we'll take your number and all your details. Then you come, you just mention your name, show us an ID, then you get one of these souvenirs. But quick one before we go to Shaban. If you were the Asante Kotoko coach, which player within the Heart of Folk ranks would you want to put a special care on to ensure he doesn't get his day?
Well, I wouldn't like to take chances if I was a coach. I mean, like I said, they have a formidable team. They sing very well. They get to know each other. So I would take every aspect, every player who gets to start seriously.
What about you, Amankwa?
I think concentrating on a player can be a decisive, can deceive you as a coach. You know what I'm saying? Because football cannot be determined as to the day. You know what I'm saying? It's every day and what happens. And so for me, if you are going to concentrate, maybe a sample, like you want to concentrate on Abetamwa, it can be different from everything else. So for me, I think the most important is about setting up your team, having your strategy, having your whatever you want to put in place. And so that is the most important. And then the players should be determined. Commitment, determination is the most important thing. For me, I've always said that football is not about coaches. Football is about players. Yes, football is about players. And so it doesn't matter if the coach is very, very intelligent and the players are not willing to play. Forget it. That's what I'm saying. And so for me, I think the most important is about.
We don't want any flowers on the pitch.
Well, it's a normal ritual that has
Thank you.
They said it has nothing.
No, it's a tradition. You know what I'm saying?
So
flowers,
you're going to New
it's a tradition. But I've seen you at the Barbara Sports Stadium as a small boy where you had a white handkerchief, an egg. You splashed the egg on the Heart of Folk team. I think you came with a substance. And they got scared. The Kotoko fans got scared.
Everything you see when it comes to Heart of Folk matches is a tradition.
It's a tradition.
Exactly. It's a tradition.
Does it really work?
No, it's not rituals. No, I'm not saying rituals. It's a tradition.
It's a tradition.
Exactly.
So
tradition is different from ritual.
You visit Newtown before this game.
It's not about visiting anyway. It's about what happens on the field of play.
I visited Newtown.
Oh, but Newtown it's our place of it's our place of temple. Yes, and so for that we go there to go and pray, ask the gods to help us. That's it.
Well, the gods will help us, but this time the generals are here to give us a simple interlude before we cross over to Shaban for the larger numbers. can get them for all your programs there, making sure the atmosphere is even charging here before Sunday. We all get to the Accra Sports Stadium for this big one. Heart Folk coming up against Asante Kotoko. Big game. It doesn't get any bigger than this. And you heard from them as they were talking about Adisa Production Limited. They have made it possible for you to enjoy the Ghana Premier League from the comfort of your home. And this Sunday, it will be live on TV3 and on your TV as well. Still here with the legends, Makwamreku and Yusuf Chipsa, and also Mohamed Shaban in here. To the players who can make a difference, quick one. Benjamin Asari, there's been a lot of talks around Benjamin Asari, especially after that error he committed against Baseke Holista. Do you think he can recover in a big clash like Hartford Asante Kotoko?
Yeah, why not? He's an experienced goalkeeper. He's senator when it comes to the local side. And so for me, yes, errors are bound to happen. And so for me, it's normal when it comes to football. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to human nature. And so for me, it's one of those things. But then for it to have effect on him, no. I think that will rather motivate him to do more. And so for me, he's going to take that Sunday's match as a kind of one of the motivations. Want to prove, some of the doubtful minds wrong that yes, I'm still the #1 goalkeeper when it comes to Ghana football. And so for me, yeah, I think he's still confident, and for me, he's going to keep the post before he goes to Japan.
You see, there will be a lot of players, a lot of football administrators who will be at the Accra Sports Stadium to watch this game. Does that put pressure on some of the players who would want to perhaps overly impress, to get into the good books of some of these administrators?
Not really. If you look at the squad, you've seen that most of them have been in the league for a while, not less than 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So I expect them to be able to stand up against all those kind of pressures that should be expected to be on the.
What I can confirm to you is that Ablo will not be available for the game. He picked up a yellow card against Karela United. So it looks like Henry and Sue will be partnering Samba O'Neill. They've not played much together this season. Does that really play into the hands of Hartford, knowing that, they're having a partnership which hasn't been tested this season?
Yeah, Mutala, you see, when it comes to Hassan Kotoko, for Hartford, we don't play Hassan. We don't play Kotoko like within this week. We play Kotoko from the maybe third week. That's what I'm saying. We count from the third week. What I'm trying to say is that the injuries and that of what you're talking about, they are all linkage. You know what I'm saying? No, he knows. He knows what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
No, he knows.
I have no idea. This is actually coming from you, but I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. He knows. He knows what I'm talking about. So for me, what I can say is that House of Folk, we don't prepare that week or maybe this week that we come to play Kotoko. We've already planned 3 weeks back. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
so the sale of Albert is your
that is part of the linkage. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, we're using all those as an advantage to House of Folk. And so for me, definitely
on Sunday.
Win on Sunday. it's a match for
and the fans will be at the Accra Sports Stadium to witness this one. But Shaban, let's go back to all the fixtures coming up in match day 9. And so that you give us your prediction, as you always do. Some interesting games to look forward to. We know that it is actually starting on Friday, where we have that Nations FC game at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. They will come up against Hohoi United. So you know these teams very well. Nations, Hohoi, who wins this one?
Advantage for Nations FC.
Ediana Mediema.
Ediana have been performing at home this season. An advantage for them. The worst will be a draw.
Then Vision FC will host 11 Wonders.
A straight win for Vision FC. 11 Wonders are struggling this season in the league.
But let me remind our viewers that 11 Wonders have a new coach, and Coach J. Sapon, after all these years, is back onto the local scene. Shapiro, he will be taking charge of the team. Then we have Young Apostles, Bechem United.
Young Apostles advantage, but Bechem United have actually also changed their head coach. And so that gives an advantage, but then a home win or draw.
Yeah, Kwabena Isa taking charge of Bechem United because Isa Botre has also been sacked. Samatex, Sweden All Blacks.
Samatex would have the advantage winning the fixture.
Then there's Baseke Holy Stars against Gold Stars.
Away win or draw.
Heart of Lions have been solid. They come up against Brekum Chelsea.
Heart of Lions win.
Karela, after that humbling by Asante Kotoko, go home. This time they are taking on Dreams FC.
Karela United win or draw.
Okay, so I will not involve you in the big one. I'm coming to the legends. Big one. he will be the 10th person. So his prediction would actually be an icing on the cake for this one. But who is this one? Heart of Folk, Asante Kotoko.
No, definitely Heart of Folk.
Scoreline?
Margin of 1.
Chipsa?
Asante Kotoko.
Okay. So, Shaban, you will give the final judgments. Both have taken their respective sides. Who wins this one, Shaban?
You are in a crowd.
This is a big one, unless I explain if we have time.
No, we don't have time,
then,
unfortunately. So who wins this one?
A tough one, but I have to do my analysis before I can predict the fixture. And so you have to give me time.
No, Sunday you do that analysis.
So I'll predict it on Sunday.
Okay, so let's see what happens on Sunday. Thanks to the legends, I'm Kwabreku and Steve Chipsa. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio to share your knowledge with us. And thanks to Shaban as well for giving us the numbers. My name is Mutala Yakubu. There are 3 live games on TV3 and on React TV. As you know, we're starting on Friday. We'll bring you a game. Then on Saturday, we move to that one. Then on Sunday, we have a special coverage of the Super Cup. Heart of Folk, Asante Kotoko. Build-up starts at 3 p.m. But I leave you in the hands of the Generals, who would also be at the Accra Sports Stadium. Have a good evening.